Hello everybody, my name is Firo, and today is going to be a little bit different than usual. This video is the first of hopefully many videos where I'm going to be doing a new series called Draw With Me, or Draw With Firo. I'm not really sure at the moment. The basic idea of this video series is that I'm going to give you a prompt and we're both going to draw said prompt together. As this is the first video, it is a little bit janky and not as collaborative as I was intending. It kind of just looks like a bit of a speed paint. As such, I'm really open to suggestions for how I can make this series as successful as possible. I'm going to discuss a few more details about the series whilst I draw, so we might as well just get into it. Today's prompts are Moon Boy, Sun Girl, and Star Child. You can make whatever you want of these prompts, use whatever materials you like, and take as long as you want to. This segment is only going to be about 15 minutes. I have sped this up quite a lot. I actually took about 3 hours to do this entire illustration, which was not the intended plan. In the future, I am going to be timing myself, and I will show you the timer in the corner because I think I'm going to be taking about an hour to do each illustration, and then I'm going to cut that in half so that the whole video is only a half an hour long. But the timer will be in the corner so that I'm not lying to anyone about how long the illustration actually took me. I really wanted to do a character design for this video, so I chose prompts that were more so character design aligned, but in the future I also want to do more landscaping or very vague, just color-based or material-based prompts. And I also think having a system where people can submit their own prompt ideas would be really fun and interesting. The materials that I'm using for this illustration are pretty mixed. I used a lot of Crayola markers to sketch, along with just some random pens I had lying around, and I used highlighters on places that I really wanted to highlight which sketches I really liked. The polished illustration at the end is done with Blick Studio alcohol markers and Kakuno ink pens. The biggest flaw with this first attempt was mostly just the fact that it took too long. I decided to draw 3 characters instead of just 1 because I really wanted to do this little set, but in the future I want to do something that you can realistically do within a half an hour or 15 minutes. The reason I decided to do this series at all has a lot to do with my nostalgia for old artist YouTube. I realized the other day that a lot of the older art YouTubers that I used to watch a lot, I kind of outgrew. I don't really watch them anymore, and the biggest reason is because a lot of them are how to draw videos. People like Mark Crilly, I would sit down and I would watch one of their videos and then I would draw along with the video, and that was how I improved my art back then. But now I don't rely on those art videos the way that I used to, and so I've been at a loss for finding art YouTube that I actually enjoy drawing to. I think I've said this before, but I don't know if it's just me, but my page is almost entirely filled with video essays and some kind of drama that's happening in the art community, or this is how you draw this and this is how you draw that, and it just feels very authoritative. I really don't know how to put it, but it doesn't feel inviting and it doesn't make me want to leave the video and just start drawing. It doesn't inspire me like that. Recently, I just finished my first round of art therapy, which is something I never thought I would ever do. I've had a long stream of trying different types of therapy and just different people in general, and I've had very little luck doing something that was ever effective. And though I don't really think art therapy was the most effective that it could be for my specific needs, it really got me back into drawing. And the type of drawing I mean is that feeling that I got when I would go to middle school and they would give you an art project to do, or when I'd come home from school and I'd watch a Mark Crilly video and I would just do a little how to draw. Obviously the prompts were a lot more how are you feeling based, but just that idea of like someone giving you a prompt and saying draw this, draw something that's related to this, just felt like, oh, this one decision about like what should I draw has already been made for me and I can just do whatever I want from there. And I realized that if I'm feeling this way about YouTube and in general, just what do I even draw, then I'm sure that there's a lot of other people out there who are also feeling that way. So that's when I got the idea for a video series that invites you to draw, just like how to draw videos did back in the day. The only difference is that I'm not telling you how to draw, I'm just giving you you a starting point. Another issue I have with newer YouTube art videos, and something that I miss about the old ones, is just how perfect they are these days. For example, most of the videos that are titled Draw With Me are not actually inviting you to draw with the person on the other side of the screen, and they're edited and shot in such a way that makes their life so perfect looking and beautiful and aesthetically pleasing. I personally find those videos to be very daunting and actually stop me from wanting to draw, because I know that I will never draw something as perfect or beautiful as they will, because the thing that they're drawing, or just the aesthetic and the environment that they're trying to show you, is not even real. Like, it looks better across a camera than it does in real life. So in order to combat that, I want to make these videos super simple. Part of the reason is because I just simply don't have the time to edit. As much as I love editing, I wish I could make these videos like super gorgeous like that, but I just don't have the time or the money to make that happen right now. But I also kind of feel like I miss the time where you could look away from a YouTube video for a while and draw a little bit, and you're not really missing anything. I still enjoy the Drawfee show a whole lot because of this. I feel like they haven't really changed their format at all in the entire time that it has existed, and that's a good thing. They probably lose a bit of new viewership because of that, but honestly, it's so refreshing to go onto a channel and just sit back and watch a show that isn't trying to grab your attention every 2 seconds. And though they're not actually inviting you to draw along with them in the same way and doing the same prompts that they have, you could totally do that if you really wanted to. So yeah, that's a little bit about why I want to start this series, and if you have any suggestions for what you would like to see in something like that, I am totally open to seeing whatever anyone has to say. This is the first time I've had a channel idea that I think I can keep up with on a weekly basis, so I really want it to work as best as I possibly can make it. The only thing I don't think I will ever be able to do is live audio when I'm doing these drawings. I really wanted to talk about what I'm drawing whilst I am drawing them in real time, but unfortunately I don't live alone and have basically no ability to record without being disturbed in some way, whether that's by the outside or the inside sounds. I even have to record these voiceovers in chunks usually, because something's always happening, like the dishwasher's always on, or I've got to go tend to something, or the TV's on, you know, it's just like, it's too noisy. I can't do live audio, and I'm really sad about that, because I started doing this sketch with live audio and it sounded so fun and like so ASMR-y, but then yeah, and then I didn't last very long. Didn't last very long at all. Just as I said that, some stupid car outside decided to rev right down the street, which is something that happens so frequently, and it's like a really quiet residential area, but for some reason these idiots decide, oh, let's just like rev our little Mustang all the way down. Like, you sound like your car is broken. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing here? Anyways, I should talk a little bit more about what I've been drawing, as that is kind of the point of the whole series. Originally, I wanted these 3 character designs to all be children. Like, the sun and the moon character were twins, and then they had like their little baby sibling in the middle, but as I was drawing it, they ended up getting older and older, so now they look like a little family, and that's cute still, so I don't mind. I have such a hard time drawing that like younger teenager age, preteen age, or just like general child age. I don't know why. I always end up drawing them either like way too toddler-like or way too old, so they actually look like older teenagers or like in their 20s. That's definitely something that I need to work on. Before I started, I gathered a whole bunch of pictures on Pinterest and I put them all on a board. I think if I can, I actually have no idea. If I can share the Pinterest board, I will, and I'll put that in the link below. And I'm just going to keep using the same Pinterest board for the entirety of this series. And basically, I just added a bunch of like clown and sun and moon and star references. I really wanted to go for this like soft clown sort of feeling. I don't know what style that would be. Just kind of like soft and fluffy and clown-ish. toy-like, I guess, is the word I wanted to go for. For some reason, I was really set on the sun character having a quilted dress. I don't know why. I just I really want a quilted dress. I think that would be so cozy to basically just have a giant blanket that is like you're wearing. It would be so nice. And the moon, I also specifically found this image from, it's the short film from Hugo, The Invention of Hugo Cabaret, George Méliès? Yeah, I think it's that. Anyways, his film that he made, A Trip to the Moon. I added the rocket from that film into the moon's face. I don't know if it's like a permanent thing. Maybe it's like an earring or something. I don't know. Anyways, but it works. It looked kind of cute. So I put it on his face like that. And then the moon is kind of like a mask that's surrounding his face. Sometimes I like to design things like that make literally no sense whatsoever, but they are just really fun to design. This one in particular I found was just like really freeing for some reason. I do want these prompts to be a little bit more random and challenging in the future, but for this one I really just wanted to do something that would inspire me personally, so I did pick something that was a little more me oriented, but I get to make the rules, so it doesn't matter. As you can see here, I'm just outlining the whole thing in a yellow Crayola marker, which honestly, I have been loving Crayola markers recently. They have been so fun. We used them a whole ton in the art therapy group that I had. They were basically all of the materials we had were just very simple, very I want to say expendable is the word, but like cheap? I don't know. You can just use them whenever. And I remember that like Crayola is honestly one of my favorite companies for like art materials because they're just so easy to use and you know exactly how they're going to feel when you use them. And because they're so cheap, you don't like feel bad about using them too much. And so, yeah, I'm going in with the alcohol markers here now, but I wish I didn't use a yellow background. I was thinking when I was doing it that the yellow marker would kind of disappear afterwards. Like after I put more color on top, the yellow would go away. It actually didn't happen that way. You can kind of see the yellow a little bit too much, so the whole image is very yellow. I think if I were to do this again, I would use more of a cooler tone, like a blue or a purple, which is what I usually do. But the reason I didn't do that is because of the sun in particular. I didn't want her face to be outlined in any color that wasn't yellow because that would look a little odd. So yeah, the moon's outfit was a lot of fun to draw. However, those sleeves were such a pain in the butt. I really wanted them to be curtain-like, so I kept trying to figure out like how to make that texture, that pattern, because I'm not very good at folds and clothing folds and things like that. I really don't pay too much attention. I very distinctly remember the one and only time I ever looked up a tutorial for how to draw clothing folds was from Mark Crilly, and I've been using the exact same technique since, whether it applies to the drawing or not. So I really need to step up my fold game with clothing fold game. But however, it took me like forever to figure out those folds, but I really liked how they turned out in the end. Yeah, trying to make it like a thinner material, especially because the quilt dress on the sun is very much thick, and so I wanted there to be a big contrast with that. The little star baby or star child was also so much fun to draw, but such a pain because for the longest time, it was looking a bit freaky with those eyes. Like I really wanted it to be cute. I was like trying so hard to make it have cute eyes, but then I kept like accidentally making the eyes too dark, so it just looked like he had two giant black circles in his eyes, and it was like kind of freaky, but we got that fixed by the end of it, so I'm proud of that. But yeah, I really like the way he turned out. I think the sketch that I did, which you can see to the right, that's in green, I think is probably the best one that I did of him. I really wanted him to have like that baby snowsuit look where they're like really, really chubby and they like can't move in their snowsuit. So yeah, I think I got that pretty okay. I don't know whether making him more chubby. I wanted him to look more chubby than that, but I don't know if making his face bigger or his snowsuit shape bigger would have helped with that. I tried to go back and forth and I really couldn't figure out what the best way to do that was. So I think what I did was fine. I don't have any anything, but I did want him to be a little bit bigger, a little bit chubbier, make him just as cute as possible. Something I did for this illustration that I don't normally do was I did all of the coloring first and then I did the inking later. And I wanted to try this out because I saw somebody randomly on Instagram do this technique where they did the color first and then the line art afterwards, and they were traditionally inking, so it was something I could recreate. And it looked really cool and it worked really well. And I was originally going to use a dip pen for this one, but by the time I got to the point of inking, it had already been like 2 hours and I was really done with it. So I didn't want to do anything else. Speaking of dip pen, there we go. I just started inking, but speaking of dip pen, I have been working a lot on MISCHIEF, my comic, and I've finally, after all these years, figured out the proper method for how I'm going to ink this comic, because I don't know actually how much I've talked about it on this channel, but I have gone back and forth with how to ink this comic like maybe 6 or 7 times. Like, it's actually kind of ridiculous. There are so many inconsistencies with the thickness of ink from one page to another because I just couldn't figure it out. Because the first 8 pages I drew them with this really fine tipped inking pen and it looks so good, but it was just not sustainable because it was too fine and it took way too long. It literally took me 3 months to finish 8 pages and I was like, I cannot recreate that. So I finally figured out a method that works, that doesn't take too much time, but it kind of has a similar effect to the first 8 pages. But yeah, anyways, this is the Kakuno pen, which I am using in my comics, and it looks so beautiful. The quality of this camera is not the best to see like its full beauty, and I'm going to be doing like an unboxing video, my review on it, especially for drawing, because it is a pen that you use for writing more so, and it's amazing for writing, but it's really good for drawing too, I've found, and I have not found a pen that works as well as this one. Like, it's spectacular. Like, I will rant about it forever. Like, it's just so beautiful and amazing, and it's quite inexpensive, and I'm just going to be using it for the rest of my life. They better not go out of business, because I will cry. I will cry many tears. And there we have it, folks. We've gotten to the end of this little illustration. I think they turned out really cute, and I can't wait to do something a little bit different next time. Maybe not a character illustration, maybe we do a landscape or something else. I hope you also felt inspired to draw. I know that next time is going to be a little bit better and more organized in that sense, but you know what? We have to start somewhere, so. If you have any suggestions for how we can make this series the best thing that it possibly can be, please let me know in the comments. And also, if you decided that you wanted to draw along with me, please use the hashtag #drawwithfiro, and I will absolutely share that, especially if it's on Instagram. If it's on anything else, I don't have any social medias except for Instagram, but I will share anything you post to Instagram and tag with that hashtag. I'll be using that exact same hashtag for the entirety of the series, so yeah, nothing specific for any video. At the very least, I hope you enjoyed this video. Keep drawing, and I'll see you later, cowboy.